Oh, I didn't know that the thing would pop up here. Welcome to the show. Usually we're on WBGU FM, but we're not.
Hopefully part 1 of this broadcast went through on YouTube. I'm going to be a little annoyed.
Yeah, so real quick, just in case it didn't, I'm Anthony, this is Brad. Just in case.
What's your last name?
Alfred Korfman.
What's your full name?
Anthony Alfred Brad Korfman.
I want to hear the guy actually say it, though.
Ethan, you want to say my name for
Say my name, say my name.
Well, you're going to have to mouth it as I say it. Okay, here we go.
Hold on.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm Anthony Alfred.
I didn't do that good of a job of mouthing, but...
That ain't my fault.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Excuse me. Well, real quick, just in case, we did a part on YouTube. I'm not sure if it went through. So if it didn't, real quick, tell the people who... We're going to recap who we picked for the TCU
for
and
TCU, Utah. By the way, up to date, I am 8-5 calling football games. So I feel pretty confident about my abilities. I'm predicting TCU on the road.
Okay, and I had Utah at home.
I also had LSU at home versus Alabama.
And I had Alabama on the road because of their superior talents. Now, real quick, I'm sure you got to get out of here pretty soon, but real quick, we got 2 more college football
2 more games. I'm ready.
Arizona and Stanford and Baylor and Oklahoma State. Let's first go with Arizona, the 15th ranked team, and Stanford, the 13th ranked.
All right. I am going to say Stanford, partly because it's at home and partly because of their quarterback, Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck is a phenomenal quarterback, and quite honestly, I think he has a legitimate claim to the Heisman Trophy. He is playing outstanding football this year. He has led the team to ridiculous victories on the road. They beat Toledo, who is 5-0 in the MAC. I didn't know this, but they're 5-0 in the MAC.
Yeah.
41-2, so that on the road, and they shut out UCLA on the road. Or was that Arizona? I want to say it was Stanford. No, yeah, Stanford, because Arizona just played at UCLA.
Yeah.
And struggled with them. Stanford also played Oregon extremely well in the first half. In fact, they were probably the closest team to beating Oregon this year.
Mm-hmm.
They also have beaten USC. And for that reason, I think Arizona, which is a quality team, by no stretch of the imagination are they a bad team. But I think they're going to be overmatched against Stanford, and I think Stanford's going to pull out the victory at home. But I expect a shootout.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if it was 100 points.
Yeah, and in the Pac-10, that's what you get with the high-quality offenses. That starts at the top of that conference this year with Oregon. I think Stanford pulls out the victory.
All right, we
actually agree on something.
All right,
not good for sports talk.
All right, well, let's go with this one.
Baylor, and Oklahoma State. Baylor is the 21st ranked team in the country, and they're both eligible for the first time in the Big 12 conference since they joined.
7-2.
Yeah.
They're a fine football team.
Let's talk about that game.
All right, well, I'm going to predict Baylor at Stillwater, Oklahoma. And here's why. Baylor has 2 losses on the year, and one of them is TCU.
Exactly.
And TCU beating you by several touchdowns as they did to Baylor, does not define your ability to win or your success as a football team.
Mm-hmm.
Because TCU is a fine, talented football team. Baylor beat Texas at home.
Yeah.
Not at home, at Texas.
Yeah.
Baylor also beat, who did I want to say? Oh, that's Oklahoma State. I'm looking at the schedule just to remind myself because I almost thought we were going to do this one first. Baylor beat Texas at Texas. They also played Kansas State and beat them, and they handled several other teams. The only team they've lost to in the Big 12 is Texas Tech, and quite honestly, I feel like perhaps that was a fluke. Whereas Oklahoma State, even though they only have the 1 loss to Nebraska, I feel like Nebraska is the only team of significant quality that they've played.
Yeah, and here's the thing as well with Baylor. After their loss to TCU, they kind of reassessed themselves and kind of they have gotten on the win track. And not only that, they built the confidence knowing that they could win. And that goes a long way for a team who doesn't have that much of a football tradition.
This is true. And I also want Baylor to win, partly because I think it's going to help TCU. If Baylor finishes strong in the Big 12, they're right now a legitimate contender for the Big 12 South title.
Yeah.
If they were to win the Big 12, I think that TCU would potentially jump into the national championship game just because they would have the record of a BCS conference champion.
Yeah.
On their beating a BCS conference champion on their resume. Last year, Boise State was unable to get that when they beat Oregon, and Oregon finished out winning the Pac-10. But the fact that TCU played Baylor and beat them handily, and if they win versus Utah, those two, and Oregon State, who is doing quite well in the Pac-10.
Yeah.
I think at the way they played those teams, beat them well, and also played them spaced out, is going to help their cause. But anyway, ultimately, I'm saying Baylor on the road at Oklahoma State will win. I expect another fairly high-scoring contest.
Yeah.
I expect it'll be within a touchdown.
I agree. I agree 100%. I think Baylor as well will be. They'll be more hungry. I think they have more seriously, they have more at stake for their legacy.
Yeah.
You know, and Oklahoma State, they kind of there, but Baylor is not. And this is an opportunity to seize their moment.
And one more thing about Oklahoma State is last year when they played Houston, they were the number 5 team in the country.
Yeah.
But they lost at home and went on to have a good but ultimately average season. They lost at home to Nebraska last week, and Nebraska is a quality football team. I think it'll be interesting to see if they're able to rebound, and I don't know if they have that maturity as of yet to rebound after a loss that Baylor has already developed.
All right. So there's your college football picks. Brad, thank you for coming.
Anytime.
Sports with the Boys on WBGU FM 88.1.
Mondays at 6 o'clock.
In the Northwest Ohio area, or if you want to watch us nationally, WBGUFM.com, and you click on the huge Listen Live tab. It's bigger than me, so click on it, go ahead and watch it.
Yeah, but is it that hard to be bigger than you?
Get out. Get out.
I love you too.
Coming up next, Ethan will be here. Our MMA correspondent will be here to talk Ultimate Fighter and Brock Lesnar and mergers between UFC and WEC. So we'll talk about that when we come back.